This is big. ChatGPT Agent is out, and I have access. And in this video, we're going to test it out and see how good it is for English learning. Is it overhyped, or is this the future of AI? There's only one way to find out. We're going to be using it together first, and then I'm going to show you a few other tests that I did last night. So we'll do that after we do one together. What do I mean by one? Well, here is basically how you do it. You choose agent mode as a tool. And if you're on the Plus plan, you get 40 messages, 40, projects, whatever it is. I said one, right? 40 ones. 40, you get 40 requests, let's say, per month. I think that's a lot, because when you see what it does, it's a lot of work, right? It's a bunch of work. It's a bunch of things that it's doing to accomplish one request. So I have 36 left. That means I've done 4 already. My math is pretty good. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to select agent mode. I am in, I guess once you select it, automatically chooses. It's not O3. It is its own specially trained model that was trained on doing research, on building presentations, on a lot of different things. In this one, I'm going to try to see if we can build a presentation to learn a specific piece of English grammar. I want you to create a complete in-depth overview presentation on the topic of English conjunctions and but, or, but it's not just those. There are more. I want a full presentation. So I want slides I can look at. Assume it is for English learners. Keep the language relatively simple. Now, if I were doing this using regular old ChatGPT, I could do this. I may even be able to, if I use deep research, get citations with real examples. But could I build a slide deck without doing anything else, without having to put it together myself? No. There would be many steps in between. I would have to fiddle around. I would have to be involved. The idea with the agent is you're not involved. You make the request, and then you go eat jelly beans, and then you come back. And it's done. You get a notification on your phone saying, hey, I did the thing. Have you had enough jelly beans? And you go and you check, right? So the topic should be covered comprehensively, including structures, explanations, possible points of confusion, and real-world examples with citations. What does that mean? That means it has to actually go around searching the web for real examples using the conjunction naturally, right, in a sentence. Then it has to put it on a slide, and it has to make sure it all fits together naturally, that the slides flow from one to the next. So it has to plan out the slide deck. I'm not telling it which slides, how many slides, nothing. It has to figure out the whole thing, this whole project from beginning to end. Pretty crazy. The final output should be a clear slideshow presentation. So I don't know if it's going to be PPT format. I don't really use PowerPoint. So hopefully I can open whatever it creates. So that's it. That's what I want to do. Let's go. Setting up my desktop. Okay. So it's thinking through. Now it's starting to work. And it's saying what it's doing here as it goes. Examining slide layout. So starting with the layout. That's interesting. This is a live view of what it's doing in the terminal. Searching the web. So it's pretty cool to see. It's looking through Grammarly. It's looking through Study. It's looking at a bunch of different websites. It's in reading mode. So you can see the different stages and what it's doing as it goes. That's very cool. So I'm going to let it go. I'm going to go give my son some cookies, and then I'm going to come back, and then we'll see what it comes up with.
What is so good? Blue one. Blue cookie? You want a blue one? Okay. You want to take this one?
This one better.
This one better? Ah. What's the number of that? Ew, that's right.
I like it.
You like it. Yummy? Is it yummy? Yeah, you want a blue one? Can I have the green one? Okay. So you want a blue one? Okay. Take a blue one. You like it? So
Look it. I like it. I like it.
yeah.
I like it.
Ay. Bite, big bite, have a big bite. Yummy.
Yummy. So good.
All right, here we go. It's done. 17 minutes, 72 sources. That's a lot of minutes. And that's a replay, I guess. You can replay the entire thing. That's pretty cool, like a video. Now, the only thing that really matters is how good is it? So we have, it looks like here, a breakdown, subordinating conjunctions, usage and punctuation, coordinating conjunctions, what they do. Coordinating conjunctions join elements of equal grammatical importance. Yes? Two words, two phrases, or two independent clauses. They signal that the linked elements have the same role in the sentence. That's right. A handy way to remember them is the acronym FANBOYS. Okay, that's pretty interesting, pretty good. It looks good. We're going to look at the real details in the deck. That's what I really want to see. But this looks good. Examples, can you sing or dance? Joins two verbs. The comment was blunt but effective. Joins two adjectives. Okay, then subordinating conjunctions, time, when, before, after, until, since. Example, we'll stay in the car until the hail stops. Okay, condition, if, unless, provided that. Example, I'm leaving if Lee starts telling us about that bass again. There's a period missing there, but I guess that's okay. We're just looking at examples, so that's fine. That could be a stylistic decision. So this looks pretty thorough. Pretty thorough. Points of confusion, although versus though, if versus whether. I mean, this is, everything you need to know about conjunctions. Now, so this is, first of all, good research. And let's just check the links here. Just click on a couple of random links, because an issue with deep research is that sometimes the links don't work. It usually works pretty well, but I just want to double check here. So the sources, let's see if this works. That seems to work. Okay, let's look at an example here. You can hear the monkeys and parrots in the forest joining two nouns. Click on Grammar Monster. And let me just do a search for parrot. Parrot. Okay, there it is. You can hear the monkeys and parrots in the forest. So that is coming from a real source. There's a lot of value in that. Being able to go out and get a bunch of useful sources that are actually clickable. Okay, but again, this is not the real test. So it looks like we've got some pretty good information here. Pretty good citations. I'm just going to click on one more random one to make sure the link works. That seems to work. That is the right website. All right, so as a report, this is good. But if I were to do deep research in Grok, in ChatGPT, I would get something like this, right? So on its own, it's not particularly more impressive than deep research. Deep research is very useful, but it can do this. But what deep research cannot do is what an agent can do, which is link steps together, take actions. I don't want to have to take this and put it into a slide deck if that's what I want, but an agent can say, okay, now I've done that. Now I'm going to design slides. That's an agentic step, an agentic process. And if this works, then we're in a different paradigm. Now, I know there are agents out there. Manus is pretty good. But to have an agentic tool in ChatGPT that works well, I feel is a bigger step than having a tool like Manus, which is just about agents, right? It's more mainstream. It's a bigger deal, in my opinion. Okay, so no hate to Manus. I like Manus, but if I can, do 40 things per month in ChatGPT without paying any more, that'd be pretty cool. All right, enough blathering. Let's see the slides. All right, English conjunctions. I want to zoom in a little bit further. That's okay. That looks okay. This is a web preview and may not reflect exact formatting. Download to open in your preferred software for best results. Okay, so let me download it, and I can check that out in a minute. So it looks like we have some custom art. One of the things I saw it doing was creating this custom art. That looks fine. I'm not a big stickler for beautiful slides. I mean, I hate making slides. If I have a way to make slides, even if they're not that beautiful and they're actually accurate, that's game over for me. Definition and important. Definition and importance. A conjunction is a word that links other words. I know this is small for you. Phrases or clauses together, same information. Choppy. I like cooking. I like eating. I don't like washing dishes. Smooth. I like cooking and eating, but I don't like washing dishes. So I like how it's giving, with this example here, the basic function of this kind of conjunction, that it takes choppy things that are kind of broken up and can make it flow more naturally and make it smoother. So this has all great information, tables, and okay, it's not the most beautiful presentation I've ever seen, but it does convey the information. Real world examples: Mark Twain, I would take him kindly and forgivingly by the hand and lead him to a quiet place to kill him. Hippocrates, wherever the art of medicine is loved, there is also a love of humanity. Okay, all right. So subordinating conjunctions. Subordinating conjunctions introduce a dependent clause and connect it to an independent clause. They signal relationships, time, reason, and then an example of each one. Now, this is so small. I'm going to see if I can actually open up the one that I downloaded to see if because it says this is a web preview, to see if the formatting is better. So I'm going to open this up in Keynote. All right, this is more full screen. So let's see here. Let me move myself. Okay, I mean, it looks the same as the web preview. So I have to take away a couple points for it just being very simple and not a very, let's say, beautiful presentation, but the information is good. And just the fact that it's putting tables in slides and organizing things in a way that is intuitive and makes sense and providing examples and actually following my requirements, that's impressive. That's impressive. Now, I said I did some other things before. I was testing this out yesterday. So let's take a look at some of the other things that I tested out with Agent. One thing I did was provide a list of a bunch of expressions, to each their own: you wish, your call, full of himself, pros and cons. This is something that has been historically difficult to do with even deep research. Find real world examples for all of them. You can ask ChatGPT to do deep research, but if you provide a long list of things and it has to add citations to each thing, sometimes it kind of works, sometimes it doesn't work so well. It's hit or miss. But if an agent understands the project and can work over a long period of time on something, looking at each expression and idiom and then going off to search for an example of that on the web, in theory, we should get better results, right? So this is the list of idioms. Go off and find real sources. I wanted it to go off onto the internet and find individually for each one real life examples with clickable links. So this doesn't work all the time for deep research and is, again, it's unpredictable. So 15 minutes, 695 sources, 88 searches. That's why you only get 40 a month. It's using a lot of compute. So here are the real examples for each idiom in context from articles, blogs, or dictionary entries. To each their own. During a Dancing with the Stars recap in The Pit News, professional dancer Jenna Johnson accepted criticism about her Roomba and replied, to each their own. Well, that's very specific. And I didn't even ask for that. It provides the situational context, giving some background information from the article and then saying, and this is how she used it. So that's really cool. Let me click on this and see if it takes me there. Ooh, that looks like a yummy sandwich. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? This is pretty small. Let me zoom in a little bit here. I'll just do a search. Each there. Okay. Pro dancer Jenna politely responded, to each their own, which reminded me that it's always best to take the high road when disagreements arise. There it is, and it's purple. Cool beans. Cool beans. All right. I'm not going to do all of these, but we'll just take a look at a few. We want to make sure that they work. You wish in your dreams. That's a good one. The free dictionary. Everyone knows I love the free dictionary's capability to find idioms. So let's see. You wish in your dreams. There it is with examples. Bingo! A sarcastic retort about something that most likely will not happen. Oh, I'm definitely getting into Harvard. B. You wish. That's a good one. Great. This is very impressive. Down to the wire, on fire. And again, one thing I really like here is that it's not just saying, I found a source, here it is, go check it out on this website. It's explaining the context, the background information to give me an idea about how it's used. LA Galaxy coach Greg Vaney praised Gabriel Peck in a 2024 match report. Gabriel is on fire. He's running without the ball. Huh? Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. Is he on fire? Cookie policy. Yes. He is on fire. There it is. Okay, let's scroll down and see one toward the bottom. Take it easy. Okay. Up to speed. Okay. A Grammarist article explains the idiom and gives examples such as, we brought the new intern up to speed on our systems. Grammarist. Okay. Click on that one and then zoom in and do a search. And then I get an ad. Oh, it's expiring in 57 seconds. Oh, no. Up to speed means being in the know or updated about a particular subject. Fantastic. So again, while you can kind of do this with any deep research, the quality of the results are generally not this good. And it seems to be thinking more carefully about how to execute, providing the context, making sure the links work. It is extremely impressive. Let me know things that you want me to try. I'm doing things that I want to do, things that I think are interesting. Think of something really challenging and I'll try it out. Come up with a really juicy one, a really difficult task with multiple steps and different kinds of things. And I would love to try it out. I wanted to do my classic test of creating an English learning digest. You may know I have tested this idea with both tasks and deep research. Deep research does a pretty good job whether you're using Google or Grok or ChatGPT. They all do pretty well. However, if it's tasks, it's more not so great. So let's see how well ChatGPT Agent does here. Generate a fresh English learning digest. This is something you might want to do weekly. You create every week a digest. That's why it would be so great to do this with tasks. Grok does this pretty well, actually. You create a weekly digest and you have a bunch of stuff that you can use to immerse yourself in English, practice English, learn English, right? Pretty cool. So all content should be new and not included in previous digests. Use the exclusion list provided. I think I'm using an older prompt here, so hopefully Agent doesn't get confused by that. But basically I'm saying I want to link to a TED Talk. I want an interesting and useful grammar question from Reddit English Learning. I want to search the web for articles published within the last 30 days that are interesting. I want a bullet point summary of each. Exclude articles on politics, geopolitics, finance, war. Preference for offbeat topics. Exclude articles that are podcast summaries. Okay, and then I gave some places where I like to see articles from, Perplexity and Atlas Obscura. These are two good places to find interesting articles, in my opinion. Now give me the idiom of the day from the latest entry on here. Now, if you look at this, this is on the free dictionary. If you go to this website, this is the archived list of recent idioms of the day by date. So I did this yesterday. So this is yesterday's. It should be over the hills and far away, or maybe it's out there. Either out there or over the hills and far away. as the idiom of the day. I want the definition and I want examples. And then I finally want a list of your own reflections on one or two items from the daily content. I did this as daily, but it could be weekly or whatever. And then final formatting should be a clear document with all links. Work 2Ks working. All right, so let's see what we get. Here's the digest. Is there a link to the digest that I can open up in a separate document? No, but let's see how it looks. I like the overall look of it. I find that Grok kind of gives the wall of words effect, but near versus nearby from Reddit English Learning question from the last 14 days, a learner asked why a multiple choice test expects nearby rather than near in the sentence, I talked to the student standing blank the door. Here's the answer summary that's provided. Let's see if this link works. It does. There's the link. Fantastic. Okay, recent TED Talk. Megan J. McCardle. I'll probably lose my job to AI. Here's why that's okay. Interesting topic. Key points. Compares today's fears to the 19th century Luddites who smashed textile machines to protect their craft. Are you a Luddite? Are you a Luddite? Hopefully not. Let's see if that TED Talk comes up. It does. There it is. Okay, great. Fantastic. Interesting recent articles, last 30 days, Atlas Obscura overview. Very good. Let's see if that works. Listening for echoes of the Forest Grove sound. Is that what the title was? Yep, that's right. Okay, so this looks like this is working pretty well. All hail the slop bowl, lunch of our ancestors. Okay, that's another one. Okay, interesting. So we have some articles. Idiom of the day, pay one's last respects. Was that in the list? Pay one's last respects. That wasn't the one, was it? Let's see if it's there. Let's go to that website again with the archive. Oh, it is. It's the latest one. There it is. Okay, great. So it is the right one. Fantastic. Pay one's last respects. If we click on this, we get a terribly formatted page. But if I zoom out, if I zoom way out, there it is. Okay. That's the free dictionaries issue. Yes, fantastic. Reflections. McCardle's talk raises an uncomfortable truth. Progress may make many of today's jobs obsolete. Yes, I agree with that. But I think that it's going to open up many interesting opportunities too. Mysteries versus answers. The Forest Grove story shows that communities sometimes value the mystery itself more than the solution. I didn't read it, so I'm not sure what that's all about. But here's an interesting question. How can teachers harness that curiosity without leaving students frustrated? Note, this digest uses only sources and idioms not featured in prior digests. I'm not sure where it's pulling that from because I haven't done this before with an agent, although I have done it before with ChatGPT, so maybe it's checking my history or the memory, I'm not sure. But it's trying to tell me that it did what I asked. But very good. The thing that's different about it is I would say it's a little more thorough, well formatted, and I feel safe knowing that the links are going to work. So there's a kind of blurry line between deep research and agent, and it seems to me it's like an extension of what deep research does. Deep research is fantastic for doing research, and it does go out and find stuff, and generally it's pretty reliable. ChatGPT is really good at it. Grok is good at it. Google is not bad at it. But it seems like Agent is able to take a little bit more time to think more deeply about, hey, how am I going to present this? How am I going to structure this? How am I going to make sure this is clear? When Luke reads through this, it's easy to read through, right? To double check things and make sure everything is working, right? That's what I feel here. And then to potentially be able to extend and do another task on top of it. Now take that and create a Word document and email this to somebody. And I haven't even experimented with sending emails to people or drafting emails or scheduling things or finding and registering for local events or doing, I don't know. I have to think about what can be done here. This is a limitation, not, I think, of capability, but a limitation of my human imagination. So that's why I need more ideas from you. I'm going to be thinking about this. I'm going to be watching other people's videos to see what kinds of things they're doing. But I think this marks an important step in this crazy journey that we're on, where AI keeps getting better and better, and we can do more and more stuff with it. ChatGPT tends to be on the cutting edge. I saw a comment that said, you know what ChatGPT does? They take the big step that is the next big thing. I know Manus is an agent, okay, but they mainstream the next big innovation, and then they kind of kneecap it or water it down. That's what's happened with ChatGPT's voice mode recently. It's become much worse. I don't even use it anymore. The advanced voice mode, I actually use the standard voice mode quite a bit. They're great for GPTs as well. But I use Grok's voice mode most of the time because it's just way better. Because it's true, I think ChatGPT, they take the big step. They make the big cool next thing, and everyone else kind of then says, oh, we have to copy what OpenAI is doing. And then ChatGPT themselves, they kind of water down their thing. Not for everything, I suppose, but the voice mode, the advanced voice mode is an example of doing that. It's really not that good. But this is very impressive, and I think it's a very key step. And I know we just looked at a few things, but my wheels are turning. The gears are moving up there. The juices are flowing. Give me your ideas in the comments. Let me know what you think about ChatGPT Agent. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. I would appreciate that. Take a free test to get your English level. Links in the description. Check out the 7-day program, $7 for 7 days. Unlock a course worth $40 and get a special offer on the 90-day program. That's right, the 90-day program. Quite honestly, quite sincerely, the best way to improve your English fluency in 90 days. I am not joking. I am not exaggerating. It is. It is. It absolutely is. I'm supremely confident in the 90-day program. Is it intense? Yes. Do you have to finish it in 90 days? Actually, no. You don't lose access or anything. But there is a full refund available, and that ability to get the full refund does expire. So that's one consideration. And unlocking the 1-year membership. At the end, you can also have the option to unlock 8 additional courses. There's some limitations there too. So I recommend doing it in 90 days. That's the recommendation. But it is the best way to improve your English. You get AI feedback and all kinds of great stuff. My WhatsApp for support throughout. It's great. It's great. Check it out. Links in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.